This is the greatest game ever.
Greetings, friends. It's Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
And I'm Matt.
Hey,
Matt is
Matt's
back.
I'm here. I did it.
Yay, Matt. We're without Daniel today, though, which is sad. Jerk.
One
Anyway.
day it will be all of
One
us.
day we'll have all four of us.
I mean, you think he heard Matt was coming, and he was just like, nah.
Nah.
I'm good. I got school or something more important.
Oh, man. Anyway, this is the Dead Tired Dads podcast. Welcome to the podcast for gamers who don't have time to game. We're glad that you're here listening to us talking. This is our news episode for the month of
Dads that don't have time
March.
to podcast.
Yes, dads that don't have time to do anything. We are here having fun. That's what we're here for. I had a funny realization over the past month. My wife, who has been on the podcast a couple times as a featured guest, for a long time was a vegetarian. So for like the last 10 plus years, she was a vegetarian. And, so it was fine. I would sometimes give her a hard time about it, but we would just kind of do our own things for food, whatever. But she's recently decided that she was okay eating meat again, which has been great because now we can actually make food together. We're not having 3 separate meals, one for me, one for her, and one for the kids. It's just okay, we're just gonna make a meal and the kids will have to eat it. So it's great. But I had this realization. One of our favorite meals to do now is breakfast. So we'll do pancakes, biscuits, and bacon, and eggs.
You do breakfast for dinner?
Yeah, breakfast for dinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Love it. Kids love it. I love it because I don't. Side note: I don't actually eat breakfast, in the morning, ever.
Overrated.
It makes me sick to my stomach, but that's beside the point. But I love breakfast food. So here's the thing, though. I had the last 10 plus years that I could have been making bacon. And I could have just had it all. It all just would have been mine. My bacon.
Missed opportunity.
Now
this is a missed opportunity.
And now
you have to
I
share.
made bacon and I have to share with everybody. So
what have you done?
I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking.
What have you done?
It was a huge oversight on my part, and I just felt like I had to get that off my chest.
That's rough. I'm not gonna lie. That's rough.
I had that realization because I literally, up until the last 6 months, I had never cooked bacon in my house.
Wow.
Because I didn't think there was any point in buying bacon because it was just me. And then I was like,
make a pack of bacon. What are you gonna do? It's crazy.
And then but then I was like, wait a second, I could have had an
Wait
entire
a minute.
pack
I
of
could have
bacon
been
for
having
myself.
a whole pack of bacon.
See, that's why you should eat breakfast in the morning. Just eat bacon in the morning. Just bacon.
But I'll have because at first I was like, oh great, we've got leftover bacon. I'll use it on my sandwiches for lunch, and then I'd come back 2 days later, all of the bacon is gone. No.
Man.
Oh.
You gotta buy the bigger packs now.
Yeah, right.
Buy the family pack.
That would take way too much time to cook, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes too long. Bacon takes too long to cook.
It takes a long time to do it well.
It feels like it takes forever.
You don't want to just fry it on there and Now I like mine charred. I'm unique in that.
I was getting ready to say now we have to talk about how everyone likes their bacon, right? I mean,
how's your bacon?
So I mean, if we're gonna get into that, I prefer a thick cut, kind of chewy, not raw, but where it has a little bit of give still. When you bite in, kind of like a jerky.
You want it to be
type.
a little bit of like rubber. When you want it to be like a rubber pencil when you kind of do this thing.
Right. Yeah.
It can't be stiff.
Right. I don't. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes. I don't. I definitely am not a crunchy if it's crunchy, it's way overdone for me. So, why are you're looking at me like I'm crazy, Ryan?
No, I'm taking it all in.
Okay, taking in the bacon.
Maybe he agrees with you. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm kind of laughing because you guys are gonna laugh at this.
Okay.
But go ahead and ask me how I like my bacon.
Hey,
How do
Ryan.
you like your bacon?
Yes.
Fair enough.
All the
Yes.
above.
Just
Fair
all
enough.
just bring the bacon in
Okay,
all
I mean,
the
that's-
ways that
Show
you
me
can
the
cook
bacon.
it.
That's fair. I mean,
Give him the whole hog. He's
I
ready.
mean, I don't know. Like, is bacon safe to eat? Like, if you were to just open a pack of bacon, like, it seems like it should be relatively safe. I mean, if you just heated it up a little bit,
you microwave it.
you know.
I mean, the other hobby of mine that is hunting and all things outdoors. I could give you a whole spiel on that, but I won't. But
Well, no.
yes,
See, now I'm
yes.
generally curious.
I'll just say this: we are more afraid of raw meat than we need to be.
Okay.
You should still be cautious, but
Well, especially with with the way that our meat industry works.
Yes.
You know.
it also depends on if it's a wild animal versus a
Right.
a pig that's been fed all kinds of chemical stuff on a farm somewhere. So it just it depends.
Yeah.
But
Sure. Fair enough.
raw meat is safer than we think, but still cook it. I mean,
Don't eat the chicken.
I heard that on Dead Turd Dead. So I could just eat the show. No.
Why isn't
This
Ryan
is
on the
Matt
show
stepping in
anymore?
saying, do not eat raw meat.
why isn't Ryan on the show anymore? Well, he
Eat raw meat. That we are
told
not
our
doctors or dietitians whatsoever.
he told our 12 listeners that they could eat raw meat, and that was
6
the
of
end.
them died.
Yikes.
Do not eat raw meat. Gosh, I can't believe I have to say that, but don't eat raw meat. Cook
Oh man.
cook your meat.
My phone told me it was okay. No. Stop it. What's wrong with you?
Oh man.
But, if you want, that's fine. But no, don't do it.
Not because we told you to. If you do it because you want to.
Because you
That's
want
right.
to.
You want to do
Your
it.
choice.
Don't do it because we told
This
you
is
to.
100% your
That's
choice.
Oh, so you said you like yours charred,
Yeah, but
Matt?
it's weird because I don't like it crunchy either. If you have to bite into it and just fall like in pieces, that's not good for anybody. But I do I don't like the rubbery. Like I associate it with fat. When I chew into a piece of fat, I hate that.
Yes, no, I agree with
So
that.
if it's-
I agree with that.
Yeah.
For sure. So
That's the stuff I usually peel off and throw.
yeah, like where if the end of the bacon doesn't quite get cooked, it's just oh no,
Yeah,
so
it's not good.
definitely
Nobody
not
knows.
that. But still, like I said, more like a jerky kind of feeling.
Yeah. See, I can do that too. I like that.
Yeah.
That's perfect bacon level.
Yeah.
But I like everything burnt. I burn everything and I love it.
Okay.
I like well done steak. I'm a freak. I know.
You're a black marshmallow kind of guy, aren't you?
My marshmallows are on fire.
Okay.
They have
Yes.
to be on fire like a torch for about 30 seconds before I eat it.
That is the
Oh.
proper way
It's
to
amazing.
eat a marshmallow.
No, okay,
On
no,
fire.
we are not gonna get into marshmallows here because you guys are crazy. I don't want to eat ash. Okay, I'm not interested in eating ash when I'm eating a roasted marshmallow. I want the sugar, man. That's what it's
You
about.
are
There's
just
plenty of sugar
shall
there.
return.
There's plenty of sugar
It's
there.
biblical. It's good.
That's right.
It's good for you.
There's plenty of sugar
Yeah,
there.
fair enough. Fair enough.
You can't
So-
do worse things like eating raw meat. I'm just saying, maybe you should try an on-fire marshmallow before you eat raw
That's
bacon.
true.
Oh man,
That's true. You're not going to be harmed by eating an uncooked marshmallow.
No, you
that's
said
true.
that.
No! I've opened us up to so much liability this
Some
episode.
youth group students from Chubby Bunny that may disagree with it.
Yeah, that's true. Chubby Bunny is a dangerous game.
You gotta be careful.
There are places where you shouldn't play that.
Is it more dangerous than what's the game you told us about?
Yeah. Snapdragon.
Snap.
No, I heard
Snapdragon.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, don't play Snapdragon either. That's a bad one. Oh my gosh.
We have fun here.
We do have fun here. Speaking of fun, I have a caveat from our last episode
there you go.
that I realized after we recorded that I meant to do at the beginning of this, but I'm going to do right now. So I talked about Rocksmith Plus. What? Rocksmith Plus on the last episode that we did, kind of in the middle of that came out in the middle of March, and I failed to mention one little detail, and that is that the songs that are in Rocksmith Plus are unedited. Ergo, if there is any language that is in the song, it will be in the game.
That's good to know.
So take that with a grain of salt. If
Yeah.
if it is something that you're interested in doing, and you've got kids, that are also interested in learning, you have to kind of
Yeah,
monitor
the unrated version.
what songs
Yeah.
because they are unedited versions of the songs at this point.
Not the Walmart version.
Right.
That's good to know.
So there are some F-bombs and some songs and things
Woo!
like that I like. it didn't cross my mind to
Yeah.
make that a point, because as a subscription service, it's not rated by the ESRB. So, I don't think anyway. But anyway, so just take that with a grain of salt. It's still a great program, but just make sure that you're monitoring the songs that you're playing.
Streaming service, right? Like you gotta
exactly.
watch, like, even Disney Plus has some wild stuff, so you gotta pay attention to what your kids take in. What you take in.
Just be aware. So that's my one caveat before we does anyone else have any fun stories or anything going on that's happened in the last month before we dive into our month of news?
I don't think so.
Okay. Nothing as exciting as bacon.
Nothing is exciting.
Nothing is.
That's true. Nothing is exciting as bacon.
Oh, I got one thing. Maybe it's kind of fun.
Okay.
My kids have started swim school. Have you guys ever done anything like that? Have your kids been swimming? Have you learned how to swim?
So my mom was a swim teacher for a while, so she's taught all of the grandkids to swim. But my daughter has done some of that with her, and before, like when she was really young, we did something they had a thing at the Y where we took her to that, and she did a little bit, but she was really, my daughter was really afraid of water for a long time and didn't really like swimming or doing things like that.
Yeah,
so.
and I've seen all these stories where like videos where people just toss their babies in the water.
Yeah.
They're just swimming around. Like, I love it, right?
Go.
And my kids did not take to water like that. But now they are. Like, I've got to say, like, I guess we're not calling out local places, but I got to give them a huge props. They did an amazing job. So just, I've always heard of these places where you can take your kids and trains. Like, it's a waste of money.
Right.
But I got to say, like, we did our first lesson this week, and the kids were smiling, laughing, giggling the entire time. It was
That's
amazing.
awesome.
So
Nice.
I can't say
Very cool.
enough about, like, what a great, thing to do with your kids, especially because this place has, like, a heated pool, and when it's cold outside, you can still take them in and burn that energy. And for us, it's worked out perfect. It's like Monday's right at, like, nighttime,
Nice.
right before they go to bed. So
Yeah.
burn all that energy out.
Sure.
And bedtime. And so it's been a lot of fun. So
Nice.
I enjoy seeing that.
Brian, have you... Sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
you're
cut you
fine.
off. Have you done any swimming stuff with your kids?
Yeah, 2 of our boys have taken some swim lessons. Before we moved, we were right next to that. There was a pool right around the corner from us.
Oh, yeah.
Chillatel pool, and they did swim lessons there.
Yeah.
Can't remember. One of our boys, I think, did 2 years, and I think one just did 1 year. But yeah, they've done some swim lessons. Both of ours have they like water, they like swimming and stuff, but they don't like to get their face wet.
That's where we're at, yeah.
So I don't know how to get
My
past
son
that.
turns into Spider-Man. Like when they make you go on your back. Yeah. I'm not kidding. Like all arms, limbs, we're doing this
Everything
crazy
will
every
keep his
direction.
face up. Yeah.
I'm
That's
like, what
funny.
is this kid doing? And she's like, no, just relax. He's just like doing this number, and his arms are going everywhere. It's like, what is this guy? What is going on in his mind?
So I've got
I want to know.
I've got a cousin that lives in like Mobile, Alabama, and like she has a daughter that's younger than my daughter, and she, like, we were at like a family event at one point at a lake, and like her daughter was just like running down the dock, like, and jumping into the water just because like they live near the beach,
Yeah,
and
they're
so like
so
you
used
have
to it.
you
Yes.
have to
Yeah.
train your kid to swim.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna be at the beach, you have like.
That's
And
how
so
we
I was
grew up.
like-
we were at the river every weekend.
I was so like,
Yeah.
like my daughter was so terrified, and I felt so like inadequate next to that. So like, and my mom had to like take me aside and be like, "Look, she's like at the beach like all the time. Like she has to do
Right.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Like they have to know how, like."
That's
it's
why
like,
we're doing this too, right?
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
Our kids, they've done hotel pools. That's pretty much it. We
Yeah.
haven't gone on vacation to the beach or anything yet. So they've got their floaties on. They got that down. But now I'm like, let's go beyond floaties, right? Like,
we haven't gotten into anything with my son yet, but that's coming sooner than
yeah.
later, I'm assuming. But my daughter loves it. Now she loves swimming, and last time we were down in Alabama where I'm from, when it was warm, she was taken to it like a duck to water. So
Nice.
There you go.
good stuff. So anyway, so why don't we just jump into here's the news? Anyone?
Here's the news.
Everyone ready for some news? Yeah. So nice.
Welcome. Free. That one's free.
That one's free. Yeah, that's good. So we had talked on our last news episode a little bit about how there was all of this big money getting thrown around for all of these acquisitions.
Yep.
Like Microsoft was buying that development company, Sony's buying that, and it's just like tons and tons and tons of money that's just being thrown around like crazy. And we talked a little bit about how what does that actually mean for the industry? Like, is that good? Is that bad? And like, so one of the things that has happened since that episode, it kind of revolves around that. Sony laid off 1,000 PlayStation workers.
Oof.
In that time period. So that was March 3rd, actually. So
Ouch.
Shortly after we released that episode. So we're kind of prophetic in that. So, and then apparently, in the same article, Microsoft was planning on laying off 1,900 people from its gaming division. That was a tweet from NBC News.
They did. They cut a lot of people from Blizzard Activision.
Yeah. After that merger, yeah.
PlayStation shuttering its London studio entirely. So yeah, like, what? I don't know, man. Like, it seems like the amount of money that's getting tossed around is probably not good.
But when I think of Sony, like what are they developing other than hardware at this point? Like, what specific, like, Sony? You don't have Sony games anymore, really, do you? Or am I just out of the loop with that? Because I feel like they're still like AAA titles, but they're Ubisoft, they're Square, they're it's not Sony.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have their exclusives, so there's some like the Spider-Man games are still are still exclusive, and the newest Final Fantasy,
right, which is Square though,
is exclusive to Sony. So I mean, I don't know, like,
allegedly it's not exclusive though, but
allegedly, I don't know,
but you can't get it on anything
at this point,
other than PlayStation. Oh, have they said it? Okay.
Yeah, the new one, Rebirth, is just PS5.
Last I heard, they said they hadn't officially said it.
Yeah.
But then there's only one thing you can buy it for, so it's like.
I think they decided they were not going to go forward with Xbox.
Boo.
I know, I don't have a PS5, and it's kind of hard to make that decision to just have a PS5 for one game.
For that game.
But that is a game that's worth, getting a PS5. But at the same time, I'm like, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I can't pull that trigger.
On a side note, so what is the difference between the one that they re-released and this new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Like, what are we doing?
They didn't release the whole game. It's like in chapters.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I think this one, I don't know if it's the full, because originally the plan was like multiple chapters.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I feel like
I think
there's gonna be one more, or is this it?
I think this one. I don't know either. I haven't played it, but
I think
from some of the spoilers and some video I've seen, it might be it.
Okay.
So, but
dang,
you guys can correct me because I don't know.
I played. Was the first one? Was it just called Remake? Final Fantasy VII Remake, or what did they call it? Remaster or something? I
can't remember either now, honestly.
I played the first one. It was fantastic.
It was great.
Really good.
Like, you're like excited for what then when you realize it's over, like basically disc 1, you're like,
wait a minute.
No, there's a whole lot more.
There's so much more.
What's going on?
I didn't play that one.
But then I'm also like,
shocking, Josh.
Like, it's supposed to carry over your information, but I played it on PS4. I don't even have a PS4 anymore. But if I did, would it carry that over?
Would it pull it over?
Yeah, would you have to have PS Plus
in
order for it to
default? Just like Mass Effect used to do back in the day. Like, if you didn't play it, you could like do a quick little comic book, and you could
tell it what the major choices you made. Yeah.
That's wild.
Man.
Wild.
That's a shame.
Anyway,
I do wonder about that though. Like with Activision, all those like companies, like what? Yes, they're letting people off, like, and that's always a really bad thing. But at the same time, I'm like, what are these studios doing right now? Like, that sounds so mean, and I don't know what I don't know.
That's fair.
But I'm like,
that's true.
What are they doing? Because for everything I can see, like, all the best games are coming out of these indie places now.
Yep.
Like, that's where the market's going. Like, everything is. There's this new game. It's like Yellow Car Goes Vroom. Have you heard of this?
I haven't heard of that one.
It's like a goofy, like almost like an N64 type game.
Huh.
Nice.
In your car, and you can't jump. You just have to hit ramps and other things. But it's like that's what is blowing up in popularity.
Yeah.
Or if you're watching Twitch, it's all the, competitive stuff that are the AAA titles.
Yeah.
But that's where money is, and that's where people are watching. But what are people actually playing? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, and that's the thing. Like a lot of these studios, these big name studios, that they're spending tons and tons of money to buy,
Right.
are releasing the same games,
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You're buying a library that's already been completed.
Right,
You're not
so,
buying
like-
anything new at this point because they're not working on anything.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But it's crazy to me that like all of that money is being thrown around for what? Like why?
Well, it unlocks, I guess. Like, it unlocks libraries.
Yeah,
it unlocks,
but
but at the same time,
It's crazy. Crazy.
I don't know. An interesting state of the union of games.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
Of games.
On a completely unrelated note, but in the realm of nerddom, and we talked about this a little bit, but they released a new X-Men animated series on Disney Plus, X-Men 97, that picks up right where the original animated series left off, and I am so stoked for this whole thing. They've released 3 episodes by the time this episode comes out. So, like, haven't had a chance to watch the 3rd one yet, but I watched the first 2. I'm quite impressed with it thus far. I'm a little bit... I wish it was a little bit more animated.
Let's say, what if we feel the same way? I'm curious.
I wish it was a little bit more... Felt a little bit more, like, hand-drawn
Yeah.
than... Because they did go...
There's also
like,
parts that almost look anime, like Japanese, like more so than the original.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, there's certain like cells. I
Interesting.
was like, wait, this isn't. Oh, okay, I'm watching the different cartoon.
Right, but the intro alone is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Just to see
Fantastic.
the intro as it was, because the way that they did it, they kind of cleaned up the sound effects and everything, and it sounds so much like the original series. I was a huge fan of the original series. I loved it. Because that was, my coming of age. That was one of my first introductions to comic books outside of Batman and Superman. And I would watch that show with my oldest sister, who's like 9 years older than me, and she was into it. So that just tells you how good the show actually was.
Even my wife, who cares nothing about this stuff, was like, "Oh yeah, I watched that when I was a kid." It's like, "You did?" It's like, "Yeah, I remember that. That was cool." It's like, you watched X-Men? This is cool. What I like the best about it is my favorite hero. I was into comic books. I had comics even before the cartoon, but my favorite hero was always Cyclops. I thought he was the coolest. He looked cool. I loved his power,
Yep.
And then in the cartoon, I always felt like he was the butt of every joke. He was awful. He never did anything cool. He just always he's like that guy who's like, I'm going to save the day, and just gets knocked down as soon as he walks out the door. And without any spoilers, they did my boy Cyclops right. So I'm pretty stoked about what they did to him. Or how
he does come off kind of emasculated in the original series.
He's I can't stand him. I don't like
I'm watching through the original series with my kids, and that's been super
cool.
exciting.
He hits people with lasers, and they just laugh it off. I'm like,
but
I thought these were supposed to be this strong power.
He kills Mr. Sinister, sort of. But he's. And part of that is, I think they, in the original series, and this is, again, way off topic from where we should be, but, again, this has to do with nerddom and being a dad.
I can bring it back around, though.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
I got some news for you.
Good deal. I think one of the things that they did in the original series that was really good is that they really did pull in a lot of, emotionally driven things, and one of the things
it's really strong themes for a kid's show,
right? Yeah. And so, but
things within racism, and
right?
Holy cow!
One of the things that they have to do that though is Cyclops is really, really emotional at times in that show because of the relationship that he has with Jean Grey and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like part of that has to do with that. So I don't. Yeah. Ryan, did you ever watch the original series, the animated show?
I did not. So I wasn't really into X-Men. I wasn't. The only comic book I was into as a kid was Spider-Man.
Gotcha.
So I've enjoyed a lot of the Marvel stuff and some of the DC stuff. So it's all new to me. Gotcha. So I kind of enjoy hearing people talk about the original stuff or the stuff from their childhood, because I have. I don't have, in a good way and a bad way, I don't have the bias of well, that's not how that's not canon. That's
Right.
not how it used to be.
Right,
you know,
right.
Right.
the only thing I have that for is Spider-Man. So,
Yeah.
but
Fair
everything
enough.
else, it's like it's all new to me. So it's like that's cool. That's awesome.
And I did like the Spider-Man animated series.
That
more
was-
than
that-
the X-Men
yes.
animated series. There was a few where they crossed over too. which
There,
is
yeah,
cool.
because that was the first season of Spider-Man was like the third season of
Right.
X-Men, and
Right.
so like they were trying to establish Spider-Man and so they pulled in So anyway,
Yeah.
no, that was
Didn't
super
he,
cool.
like Date Jubilee or Kitty or something, Kitty Pryde, something like that. There was
No,
some kind of
it was because he was mutating. Something was going
he
on
was
with his,
the-
and he was
that's right.
he was trying to get in touch with
Yeah.
Professor X
Yeah.
and to help him with his mutation issue because he was turning into the Man Spider.
Man Spider. That was weird.
That was a weird. That was a weird. Yeah. But he. Anyway.
So I can bring that back to video games.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
So there's like unconfirmed but confirmed rumors of a new Marvel game coming out,
Ooh.
and they're thinking it's going to be more like Overwatch. You guys ever played Overwatch? It's like a
I've not played it.
I haven't
six
played it,
on
but I'm
six,
familiar with
like shooter, like team squad kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yep.
And so that's the rumor was originally there's a new Marvel game, which that led me to another topic. But I thought it was interesting they went with that, with like a 6v6 shooter squad,
Yeah.
but with heroes, with Marvel heroes.
That'll be interesting.
Like I wonder if they're going to do just heroes, or is it going to be like villains? Like Overwatch has villains too.
Yeah.
Like that could be really cool. Some people you could pull in. Like what's the guy that can copy everyone's moves? He learns your fighting stock and do the exact same thing. He's in the
Oh, yeah.
movies.
I don't know.
I can't think of his
Off the
name.
hand.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was in
Off
the yeah, I don't know. But things like that could be cool. But then that got me thinking too, like, have there ever been any really good Marvel games other than I will say Ultimate Alliance is pretty amazing, like the strategy type games. But,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like you can go back to Super Nintendo, like Children of the Atom was pretty cool, but like to
Um.
me, like I didn't like the Avengers game that's newer. I didn't like any of the other Marvel. But I'm just like, has there been like the movies are amazing, the comics are amazing.
I mean,
I feel
other
like
than
they
the
haven't done long games.
Spider-Man games
Okay,
have
you can say
always
that,
like
yeah.
Spider-Man games. Like even like I remember playing one of the Spider-Man games on
Oh, like
on
the movie game
PlayStation.
forever ago was amazing,
Well, like
right?
that one was great, but like there was one even before that that was like based off of the animated series that came
Yeah.
out for 64 and PlayStation that were really good.
I kind of remember that.
I
I like the one that had Bruce Campbell in it. Like he narrates it. That was
and then I remember the original X-Men game for Sega. I remember playing that one a lot and liking it, but it also being impossibly
oh
hard.
yeah, side scroller.
Yeah.
Is that Children of the Atom? I think that was like the arcade version.
No, it was. I don't think it doesn't have a title. It's actually.
It's X-Men.
It's actually in my
there you
in
go.
my Genesis right there.
I see it.
But it's just X-Men. And like I couldn't even beat the first level.
Yeah.
So
it's
like
super
kind of thing,
difficult.
just where it's just impossibly hard.
It just seems like with all the material, there's got to be a way to make it amazing. Spider-Man, okay, yes, yeah, that makes sense. But you know, have they done that with Avengers? Have they done that with X-Men?
No,
Outside
they have
of,
not.
you know?
The one that came to mind for me, and I don't know, this could be one of those games where time hasn't been kind to it, and if I go back and play it now, it may not work. But as a kid, I loved Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I loved that
was
game.
a good one.
So, but I don't know. I don't know if I played it today. If I
that
would
one's
feel
also
like,
impossibly hard to find.
Yes.
Like that one's like super expensive.
yeah,
and
it's
really
it's like rare. Like if you
Yeah.
try to buy it, it's very expensive
What
now.
was the other one? They had one after that where it was all the symbiotes. Or was that one? It
Um,
was like you could play as Spider-Man or Venom.
I think that is Maximum Carnage. I think.
It was called but you had to fight different symbiotes for the bosses. It was like there was like multiple. It wasn't just Carnage. It was Carnage. It was the one that looked like she was on fire. It was like
Oh, okay, that may be
multiple,
something different then.
Children of Venom. That
Yeah.
began. I used to play one. Oh, I had that one on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So it seems like
I don't-
Spider-Man makes a great video game.
Spider-Man makes a good game.
Spider-Man's a good game. I don't know.
What do you do on X-Men? What do you do on Avengers? Come on.
Yeah, that's
You know, something I don't know if this is why they struggle to make good video games, but something that I was thinking about when you were talking about this rumored game, Matt, is how do they appropriately balance
Yeah.
all the different characters so that like
Right.
not everyone it's not 6 Iron Man versus 6 Iron Man, or whatever, like
Right,
whoever's
right.
just the most powerful.
Right.
So that'll be interesting to
Oh
see.
no.
Well, I think in those squad games you can only be one. Like you can't have three.
Oh,
of the
you
same
can't.
person.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
It kind of locks that character in. which
Gotcha.
is- yeah.
one game that was, I mean, halfway decent that I just remember. The X-Men Origins game on 360. The Wolverine game.
I remember seeing video of that one.
That one was actually a lot of fun. I didn't play a ton of it, but the movie was terrible, but the game was actually not bad.
It was okay.
So,
right.
there was another one, Wolverine's Revenge on PlayStation 2 that was associated. It shouldn't have been associated with it, but it was associated with X-Men 2, I think.
Oh yeah. I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was like an X2 game.
Yeah, it was X-Men 2 Wolverine's Revenge, but it had absolutely nothing to do with the movie X-Men 2.
Right.
But the game was pretty good. It had Mark Hamill did the voice of Wolverine.
Nice.
Which was, yeah, I know. Wild.
Nice.
But that one was pretty fun. So yeah.
Well,
there have been a couple. I mean, but
the best comic book character video game is obviously not a Marvel game. It's a DC game, and that's Superman on Nintendo 64.
I was wondering. I was like, "Where's he going? The Batman? Like those games are amazing."
That game is the pièce de résistance of
like
superhero video games.
DC has done a much better job than Marvel has when it comes to video games.
That's
for
very
sure.
true. Yeah,
That's for sure. Marvel rules the cinematic world at this point, but like
DC also does TV better than Marvel.
Yes.
So it's kind of weird how they have their like certain, but like Marvel has crushed the movies to me compared to DC.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so yeah, new Marvel game. Hopefully that pans out, comes out, and something good comes from it.
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
Ryan, do you have any new news or?
Well, speaking of video games and other nerddom, I saw. So there's very little information about this, so we'll all have to keep our eye on it. But I saw a tweet yesterday that sometime in the next few days there will be a new trailer for a game called Tales of the Shire. And it's going to be a new video game in the Lord of the Rings universe. But
interesting.
Literally, that's all the information they gave. Like there's,
It's just
and
a
I
Hobbit farming simulator.
That's what it sounds like.
it may be.
I can't wait.
Join Merry and Pippin as they take their time having drinks
But you win
and
by
causing
not,
trouble.
by not farming, right?
Right.
You're supposed to, but I'm going to go do this instead.
Right. We're just going to drink as much as we can and avoid. Maybe we'll set off some fireworks.
So
I'm
yeah,
down.
but if you go to the Twitter account or X account or whatever they're calling it now, of the people who are producing the game, they only have like 3 tweets, and it's all about this trailer that's coming soon. So there's just very, very little information.
Tales of the Shire coming in 2030.
Probably. So yeah, but I was not familiar with the name of the studio. Like it's an indie.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
That's wild.
But what's happening though is all these major AAA guys are going to making their own indie studios.
Right.
So that's like, there's some cool stuff coming on the horizon.
Yeah.
It's not going to be from these big competitors.
Yep.
So.
That'll be great. That'll be good. So in other news, in other entertainment type news, they did officially announce the new Mario movie. So a second Mario movie is on its way.
Yeah.
We don't have. I think
it took so long. I mean, the first one was such a huge success.
This is literally, I haven't heard this yet.
Oh.
This
Really?
is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
This
Okay.
is new. It's official. It is on its way. I think 2026. I think I'm not positive on that on the time frame, but
That's super awesome.
that'll be
cool.
more news will be coming out from that in the next year or so. So that's exciting.
Nice.
And hopefully they'll do my boy Yoshi more justice and give him more than a spot cameo.
They have to, right?
That's what it's all about, right?
Right, that's what it's supposed. That was how the ending. Yeah.
Based on the way they ended the last one.
Yeah.
If
And
they,
Luigi too, like he was non-existent. And
yeah.
There's got to be some kind of goofy, like maybe gets a vacuum or something. I don't know.
Do they
Film in a haunted house.
do they introduce Waluigi or do they keep him in a closet?
Wario, even,
man.
like, yeah,
That would be fun.
Interesting. That'd make for a great movie.
That would be.
Like the antagonist is Wario. Yeah.
I crushed so many people in Mario Tennis using Waluigi.
He's mean.
He was
Wow.
so good. Oh.
So anyway, that's another good thing. And then the only other thing that I really had to bring to the table today for our news, there is a new game that just came out over the last couple weeks. Okay. For those of you who didn't hear that was my Xbox One just randomly decided to turn on. So
Play
that's
me,
fun.
Josh.
So I don't know what happened there.
Voice activated. It hurts, right?
So anyway, back to video game. I guess that is pretty big news. There's a haunted Xbox One in my basement.
Not for sale on anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much could you get for it?
Good question. Anyway, there's a new game that came out called Dragon's Dogma 2.
I saw something about that.
I don't know anything about this game. So apparently there was a Dragon's Dogma 1, and now this is a sequel.
No, we skipped that one.
Nah.
But the creator, or the director of Dragon Dogma 2, had this to say. He dislikes fast travel because all you have to do is make travel fun. So he dislikes fast travel as a general thing, and that you just have to make travel fun. I tend to agree with that sentiment that
on how big the world is.
Right. That fast travel tends to cheapen the experience that you
I 100%
don't
agree.
Because I find in games that do have fast travel, I don't explore the world at all, and I end up bored because I'm not exploring the world. I'm just jumping around. Oh, where's the closest fast travel point to my next mission? And then I just end up there.
It depends on, like,
so
some games, you know, put nothing in between it. So, like, I'm thinking of Baldur's Gate, where fast traveling is very helpful because if you've already cleared an area, now I've got to walk all the way through that, and there's nothing there.
Just walking past all the dead bodies.
Such a waste. But like I said, make it fun. Then it's a whole other thing.
Which is, you know, like, so in Spider-Man, like, there's apparently a fast travel feature in Spider-Man that I've never used. But, you know,
why would you? It's
yeah,
Spider-Man.
it's fun. You just swing through the city.
At least 30% of the game is swinging around New York City, right? I mean,
but here's the thing about this game. That they introduced. So they didn't put fast travel in the game natively.
Oh boy, I know where this is going.
What they did is after the
Don't
fact,
tell me you can pay for it.
You can pay
as a microtransaction. Come on, man.
You can get a fast travel warp medallion.
Come on.
They put Uber in this game.
It is.
Is there peak pricing and everything? Like, based
on
the
Friday
average?
night,
Yeah,
it costs more than like Tuesday morning.
It costs $3 to get the warp medallion.
Come on.
But apparently, like, this is a huge thing with this game. Like, there were like microtransactions for everything in this game. Like, and it's just like
brutal.
What on earth are we doing?
It's a mobile game.
Yeah, right.
Right, that's what it is.
But anyway, I just thought that was interesting and fun. Like, not that it's
that quote, like, he had me. Like, I was gonna try out his game because I agree with the premise, but then just
at the same time,
he lost
like,
me.
You don't know either if like that was his choice or if that was the you know,
the game studios. Like, we're getting
we
all
need
these
to make money off of this.
we're getting and
whoever's
also like
backing the project.
We're
like,
getting all these complaints from people that there's no fast travel. We should fix that. Put a medallion in there that you can use. It's like, no, I said I stand on my principles. I'm not. You have to do it. Fine, we'll do it as a microtransaction.
$3 a person. Boo.
But anyway, we were talking about that the other day, Matt, in a public place, and someone like came up to us and was like nodding, like, "Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2," and I was like,
well,
all right.
You have fun with that.
I hope you enjoy it, because it's not a game I'm going to be playing.
Right.
I've never even heard of it. But
did you tell that guy, like, hey, tune into our podcast where you can hear us make fun of the game that you
love so much.
that you love?
I did not. But
I've
anyway.
heard things about the 2. I don't even know what it is, but I've heard people talk about it.
Yeah. So
I actually, a long time ago, a good friend of mine, he sort of came up with these rules that he imposed on himself for playing Skyrim, and one of them was no fast travel. And so I tried it, and I kind of what you were saying, I saw all kinds of stuff that I otherwise would have never seen. Like I'd just be walking down the
games
sidewalk
like that are
and
such good, like
a dragon would be attacking a bear, and I would just like stand back and watch it. It's like I would have never seen that if I just bounced to the closest place.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you were playing Tears of the Kingdom and like, I mean, yes, they've got the markers that you can set, but like, if there were just fast travel things in places where you were just
great for speed.
That's pretty but like if there are just fast travel places at all of the and I guess there are, right? You can go to the towers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. That my entire
Can you fast travel to the things down below, like on the
you can travel to the light route. Yeah, so my point is void.
Thank you. I couldn't think of it.
My point is void. Never mind.
Never mind. We'll just edit that out and you'll never know what we said.
But like that does go back to the point where like even with fast travel points, I like wandering around the world of Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yeah, so I found myself just wandering all the time.
So like, even with that. So yeah. But I guess I probably would explore a lot more if it weren't for those. So I don't know. I'm of two minds on the subject, I guess. I get it, but I also Assassin's Creed games. Like, all of the... Like, any Assassin's Creed game that I play, like, after the first one, never explored anything. It was always jump into,
just to the closest
what's
place.
the closest to... And so, like, you just miss so much.
Yep.
Where's the... And everything's on the map, so, like, it's just like, okay, like, there's a collectible there. I'm going to get to that fast travel point and get to that collectible, and then I'm going to the next fast travel point. So, I don't know. It's just a weird... It's a weird thing to have to kind of balance. I don't know how you do that as a developer.
Charge people $3 for it.
Charge people $3 for it, apparently. That's it. That's the way to go. Yikes. But yeah, like I said, that was basically the last little piece of news that I had. New games that came out over the last month. The Peaches Showtime.
Something about Princess Peach, yeah.
Princess Peach Showtime, which looks like a lot of fun. I have bought that game, but I have not yet played it because it actually is a birthday present for my daughter. So it is wrapped up in a somewhere. So went ahead and bought it and pre-ordered it and had it ready to give to her, but have not done so yet. And they came out with a nice little Princess Peach controller too, which is really cool. It glows in the dark. Haven't opened that yet either, but
that's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Excited to give Peach a game.
Yeah, no, it that is a weird to finally
a golf game or a sport game or
to finally give Peach her own game.
Yeah, you would think by now she would have had one.
My daughter was watching when the demos came out for it. My daughter wanted to watch the demos over and over again, so I got to see a little bit of the gameplay on there. It actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is it
my daughter? I couldn't get her to buy in. I thought she might want it for her birthday because they're close.
Right.
And she was excited for it because it was a Peach game. She loves Peach too. Then I showed her the game. She was like, So I think if she actually played it though, she'd be all about it.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Is it like a platformer? I haven't seen it. I've just seen the
sort of. It's like a
cover art or whatever.
Yeah, like I haven't watched. I didn't pay a ton of attention to it because my daughter watches all of these videos on YouTube when I'm around that I don't always like. Obviously, I'm paying attention. I know what she's watching, but like I'm not like tuned in, exactly to what's going on. So it was, it's kind of like a 3D Mario game.
Okay.
Like Peach gets different costumes and can do different things with them.
It feels like Paper Mario in 3D a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So.
Yeah. All I've seen is when you turn your Switch on and like the news section or whatever. I've just seen that picture. But.
Right. So. But yeah, that's all I've got. There was another big game that launched at the same time as the Princess Peach game. I can't remember what it's called though, so it doesn't matter.
Not important.
Not important. I don't care about it.
This is kind of news related. By the time people are hearing this episode, 2 days ago, Diablo 4 hit Game Pass.
Oh, snap!
That's right.
Yeah, so
that is big news.
I'm curious to see how that's gonna.
I haven't played it yet, so I'll probably use Game Pass to play it.
And that's available on PC and Xbox, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So Diablo 4 available for all of you Game Pass users out there.
You guys gonna play? I got it since the beginning. We can all play.
I don't have Game Pass.
I am definitely going to play, but I'm a fan of Diablo, so
everyone's staring at me like I'm
Josh.
You like the story. They've tried to incorporate like seasons and stuff, which I really liked in Diablo 3, but I don't know. I think they're hoping it's going to save it because it did kind of take a big hit.
See, I played Diablo 3 when it first released.
Yeah.
And then I actually replayed it 6 months ago.
It got way better.
I saw some of the season stuff, but I had come into it it was like season 38 or something by the time I came into it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really do much with that.
It was a game changer for it. And of course, I played the beginning too. It's vastly different from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, the real life auction house, all that stuff, right?
I loved the real life auction house so much.
But I think you'll like 4. It's different enough, but to me, right? Like to me, it doesn't have that staying power of like what D2 or D4 or D3 had. But there's people that play it. People like it. I have friends that still play it, but I don't know. The seasonal part's what saves it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of one of those where I
want to play it, but $50-$60.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'll wait for Game Pass since I know Microsoft is buying Blizzard. I'll wait for Game Pass.
That's smart. I think there's a lot of people that will try it out and may buy into it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's exciting news for all of you Diablo fans out there. Not something I've ever played, so go figure.
You will play it, Josh.
Okay, fine. Get me Game Pass.
Hack and slash.
Hey, how about this? Someone sponsor me to have Game Pass so I have more games to play.
I mean, I have it too.
Hashtag.
I'll download that and try that one day. And 3 months later, oh yeah, I forgot I had this.
Yeah, when I did have Game Pass for PC, like I had so many games that I downloaded. I'm like, I'm gonna play that.
Yeah.
And then never did, and I was just like, oh yeah, there's that.
So I haven't done it on the PC, so I'm assuming there's this feature, but maybe not. But on the Xbox, you can go to Game Pass and you can add it to your play later list. Does it have that on PC?
Not really. You
just download it and it's just there.
Because on my Xbox, my play later list is just massive. I see something, I'm like, well, I'll play that later. And of course, I have 3 games on my Xbox and 100 that I'm gonna allegedly play later.
Game Pass, I always find the AAA titles even come out. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get it. Starfield. Yes, let's try it. Right. I played for 5 minutes and I'm like, I'm not invested. I didn't buy it. Delete. Go on the next game.
On to the next.
But then the really weird indie games is the stuff that makes me play for hours.
You just keep it forever.
Power Wash Simulator. I love that game. It is so stupid, but it's so great.
I assume that's better than Lawnmower Simulator, but that's
there's something about washing a house.
Does it give you the actual satisfaction that I imagine it gives you when you clean something?
That's what it feels like. It's so weird. Why is that fun? I'm power washing not even my own house and getting something accomplished, but a 3D
I'm pretending to power wash my house.
Right, and that's fun. But not this AAA title that
I've seen that one on Game Pass so many times, and I'm like, I just imagine that it gives a certain level of satisfaction. Just feel that
I've spent way more time than I want to admit that I've done. Because you do it and you're done and you're like, wait, that was 30 minutes of my life. What was I doing?
Why did I do that?
And that was one level.
I could have washed my car in real life.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they're trying to get you to do, right? This is training for, I need a power washer.
All right. Man. Yeesh. Well, that that's it for me.
That's all I got.
I'm wrapped up.
It's time to go to sleep.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. I will encourage you to do all of the things that I always encourage you to do. Like, subscribe, share.
Yep.
Pass this along for real. Give it to people. Share the tape, as the Mystery Science Theater guys used to say. Share the tape. Keep passing the tapes around.
That share button under there. Just put it on Facebook. See what happens.
Yeah. Just one time. Just see what happens if someone, maybe someone else will listen.
We're hungry. Okay? We want bacon. Josh needs
cooked bacon.
Josh needs cooked bacon.
Bacon.
Yes, please buy me bacon.
We get it raw at this point. Whatever. You don't, but we will.
But that's going to do it. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast.
Bye.
I love you.